there, and thank you for joining us at the Evolve series hosted by the Nightclub and Bar Show. My name is Megan Gregoire. I'm here with Chad Jeffries. We're with Motion Technology, also known as MTI, one of the sponsors here of the show. And we're the first of many industry talks that will be going through the rest of the tour. Chad here has been with MTI for a really long time, so he's going to give you a little background about who we are and why we're here today.
Thank you, Meg. I have been with MTI for over 18 years and been in the food and equipment industry for over 30 years. And I've seen a lot of things go on this day and age with going in the bar industry with the pandemic. It's been quite challenging for a lot of establishments out there. And hopefully today we can teach you and about what's going on in the business, and hopefully you can learn all about how to make some profits.
Yeah. So a little bit about me is before I started here at Motion Technology, I came from a bartender background. So I do see some of these things that our customers are facing. I feel for them. The goal of this presentation is about restoring bar profits and the benefits of adding a food service program. And that's where our realm is. That's where our warehouse is. So hopefully we can give you a little background and some steps to do that. We're going to head right in. So what we're going to talk about throughout the presentation and this industry talk is, some of the top industry challenges that we're seeing, what we've seen in the past, what we see today, and what we're probably going to see for the next couple of months. We'll bring some light to a great customer success story that we've had, and hopefully you can put yourselves in their shoes and kind of see that there is some light at the end of the tunnel here during these really dark times.
That's right. Yeah, it's been, like we said, it's been pretty challenging, and a lot of bar owners and restaurant owners are trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
This day and age, are trying to do sometimes they do something different, and hopefully some of the things we touch upon will help everybody out there.
Yeah, so we'll also touch on steps to adding a food program if that is in fact something that you do want to do, and then how we can help and why we're here today. So let's jump right into it. Here are some of the industry challenges that we've seen in-house. We obviously know that they're nationwide, and the pandemic has put people in these really tight predicaments. The first one, state regulations. In Massachusetts, particularly, if you're a bar and you don't have food, it's unfortunate, but you can't be open. That's what you're hearing, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and a lot of operators out there are working at limited capacity.
Right.
They're not having every seat full like they would like.
Exactly.
So they have to figure out what's the best way that they can maximize every seat that every patron that comes in their building.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the challenges they're seeing out there, operating under limited capacity.
Exactly. Another, obviously industry challenge that we're seeing is limited funding and staff. You don't have the funds to keep your employees there. What can you do? We do know that there's government help out there for some businesses right now.
There's government help. There's also things that people want to get some equipment to start doing food service, like leasing, financing available from banks. And as Meg mentioned, staffing is also an issue too. If one of your employees gets COVID, they're out, and possibly they're out for not even a day or two. They're out for maybe 14 days. So that hampers the whole staff that may be a key personnel that might be out for a while. So that's the type of thing that a lot of bar owners and restaurant owners are dealing with right now.
Another challenge is obviously as things are starting to open up, working from home. People are still working from home. They've pivoted to try to change everything from a digital world. So timelines on securing permits is going to be a challenge if you do want to implement anything else to your business. If I'm not sure, particularly for Massachusetts, but there might be in some other states that you have to get a certain permit to now serve food outside if that's the only way that you're able to do that. So you gotta keep those things in mind on just being patient and having a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Because people are, like Beck said, they're working from home. A lot of people that work for towns are working from home. To get a permit might take longer than it normally did when you opened your business years ago. People aren't there. A lot of staffing is down, and not just your establishment, but also other places as well, which makes things a lot harder to get things done.
And one of the final concerns for and challenge that we're seeing is limited space. You know, as a bar, you're only there to serve drinks. You didn't have a food service program in the back of your mind. And now from working to limited capacity, that could only mean, 15 to 20 people in that. And how do you maximize again that footprint and getting the most out of those customers that are in those seats. So I know space is a big issue, especially since we have to keep social distancing in mind, and all those other, guidelines.
Sure, and the space you may have, you may not realize that there's something there that you can make a profit center out of. Might be a 10 by 10 area that could become a kitchen for you.
Yeah.
You can put a stove there. You can put not a stove, but a fryer.
Yep.
An oven of some sort that can really start adding food service to your menu.
So in our next slide that we're going to go to is we're going to talk about a customer of ours that was in a limited space predicament before they actually opened. They had their mind set on opening a bar and a pub. They had a theme in mind. They had a certain type of beverages they wanted, but they realized they only had a 10 by 10 space for their kitchen. And if you guys have come to trade shows before, that 10 by 10 is a really small area to work in. But fried food was on their menu, and that was going to be part of their theme. As you can see, the Belgian monk. They're located in Punta Gorda, Florida.
Punta Gorda,
Florida.
If they're in Florida, we're
Yeah.
from Massachusetts. We're not exactly sure.
Yeah.
But they're in Punta Gorda, Florida.
And they, they had regulations they had to consider too. So
the theme too. They're Belgian style bar with Belgian beers and some Belgian foods like frites and they thought the Autofry was a great solution to what some of their needs were. Yeah,
so they did their research and they knew they wanted to fry, and they knew they were tight on obviously some of the restrictions in that small space. So if they wanted to fry, usually the first thing that people think of is open fryer, hood and ventilation system, and they just weren't able to do that in a 10 by 10 space. So they found us, which is MTI is the manufacturer and retailer of the Autofry.
Yes, it's ventless, hoodless deep fryer, and this product will enable them to fry without a hood. Simple as that. So they can serve French fries, they can serve wings, tenders.
And if you see in the picture down here, they came up with these pretzel monk bites, is what they're called, and they're pretzel filled with deliciousness inside, deep fried. They're able to just expand on their menu, and when COVID took over, they had to pivot as well. So because they had this food, they were able to now implement takeout, some delivery options.
Yeah, they were already things were already in place for them to do well and survive during COVID. Like Meg said, they had delivery, they had takeout, and
they
didn't miss a beat at all.
Yep, they had an area outside where they were able to socially distance their tables and then serve off premise. So that was a big saving grace for them to keep trucking along. So the next slide we're going to talk about is steps to adding a food program. Now we touched base on what the Belgian monk did in their case, and that was before they actually opened their bar. So now you're open. These restrictions come into play. What do we do? How do we react? Things to consider, right?
Exactly. What kind of plan are you going to have? Basically?
Exactly. So the first thing you want to obviously consider is your budget and your planning.
Sure. What kind of money do you have to put into something like this? It's a new venture in your business. What kind of money do you have? You have to put a plan in place. You have to think about what's it going to cost additional staffing.
Yep.
Of course, you're going to need some equipment. Some permits are required. So you make sure you put all that on paper and figure out exactly what your budget's going to be for something new like this.
Yep. And start small. Yep. You don't need to lay out a full entree and dinner menu. Keep it small, and then you can grow from there. That's really part of the planning. Take the small steps first, and then once you get into the groove and what you're comfortable doing and what your customers obviously are interested in seeing,
sure.
Get their feedback. They're your best critic, honestly, to start implementing something like this. We mentioned kitchen layout and staffing. Kitchen layout is, can be scary. You do not need a full kitchen or full staff to run a menu.
Exactly.
And to have
you don't even need a designer. You can figure this out yourself by looking at space. You can visualize it. by seeing it. I can put a fryer here. I can put a freezer here, and
Start
start serving some food. It's just pretty simple. Of course, like we said, some planning's involved, and of course, make sure your staff's on board with this, because
Yeah.
having a staff that's not on board with something new can be a problem. So
Yeah,
make
can
sure that
certainly
you
be an additional challenge.
yeah. So make sure that everybody's on board and tell them what you're going to do. Be open about your plans and what the goals are of your business.
Yeah, and again, thinking about choosing a menu. Like I mentioned earlier, keep it small. Maybe go with the theme if there's something particular that if you're a sports bar, make, wings, different flavors and French fries, nachos, things that are really simple and easy to implement, less stress on the staff, less stress for you to plan and organize. And then, you'll be able to roll it out pretty easily.
And also think about trends. Always keep that in mind. There's trends are always changing for food.
Yeah.
So trends are something you always be on top of, as far as whether you're going to be serving maybe some sort of fish, some sort of some Mexican dish, perhaps. So things like that always change all the time. So
for food, options are endless.
And absolutely something local too. If you're an area that's local, that's a food that's local to where you are. Always keep that in mind on the menu. That people tend to like that, obviously.
Absolutely. And then obviously the final thing that we mentioned on, once you put your plan in place, you have your menu, you've talked to your staff, you've trained, you're ready to go. Start small, maybe like a silent menu that you have, just to get things going.
Do a soft opening, it's called.
Yeah.
Just share some food with some of your customers.
And then obviously use the free platforms that are out there, social media, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, word of mouth, which is the best way to get your business and your new adventure going.
Also, consider signage too. Put a sign outside your store. Put signage inside and make an announcement. Make it fun. Food is fun.
Yeah.
So always think about that aspect of serving food and then introducing food service to your bar.
Absolutely. So we're going to actually get into detail on what our product looks like, how it works, if this is a fit for you. What you're seeing here is the Autofry 40C. It's our double basket countertop model.
Exactly. Yeah. This is called the MTI 40C. It has 2 separate tripods in the machine. It's electric. All our equipment's electric. There's no gas at all. So
oil.
It's oil. Of course, oil in the Autofry has the ability to fry, for instance, chicken on one side and fish on the other. For instance, you want to do that.
You want to keep things separate. Fish, any type of allergies, if gluten products, whatever you want, you have the ability to kind of keep that separate in there.
Sure, and the machine's very easy to use and maintain, in the sense that on the keypad you can do up to 18 presets, so it's very easy in your staff to put up to 18 different type of items in there.
Yep.
If you're not busy, you can have one side off and one side on, so that way you save a little bit of power on that.
Absolutely.
And of course, general maintenance on a piece of equipment for the Autofry, you're going to have to get the Ansel system checked once every 6 months, and the Ansel system is the fire suppression system that's required for any time you do any frying. So this is in place of a hood, which can be quite expensive. So
fully automated and fully enclosed.
That's right.
And just to give you a little idea on how it works, you open the hopper, the little black knobs in the front, add the food, shut the hopper, enter the cook time, let the oil and the frying do the work, and then it dumps out on the side.
Exactly. Drain for 12 seconds and dump the food right in the food tray for you. Very simple.
Yeah, very simple. You're able to kind of pile up some of that food if you think you're going to be a little bit busier for the night. There are accessories like heat lamps and things to keep it warm, so you're not, wasting any food.
Sure. In fact, the bartender can put the food in the hopper, set it, walk away, and comes out automatically. So they can do other things.
So that's an important part to think
while
about.
They're frying. Exactly.
Yeah, important part to think about, especially when you're limited on staff.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. This particular one is set up on a countertop, like I mentioned. That can go right in the bar where it is if you don't have the space to put a full kitchen.
This particular machine is only 36 inches wide, so it's a very small footprint. And you can have a whole kitchen set up just with that in the freezer in practically no time at all.
Yeah.
It's very much plug and play. We like to say plug and play. So that's what it is.
Yeah. So this next slide is going to give you an idea of our full product line for Autofry. We have 5 different models, countertop or floor models, as you can see here.
Yep, exactly. All different price ranges. Single basket, double basket machines. We also have a floor model for some high volume operations. Yep. So it's just a matter of finding exactly what your needs are, what your budget is, what your space is. Yep. And they all work the same way. Like Meg said, put the food in the hopper, close it, set a timer, push start. When the food's done frying, it's going to raise up on the inside, drain the oil for 12 seconds, and dump the food right in the food tray for you.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Very simple. A few different models are in areas and in businesses like cinemas. Young teenagers are in these environment is in this type of environment. So
That's right.
they'll never touch the oil. It is extremely safe. Everything's piled out and portioned for them. So they can just keep going.
Exactly. Yeah. From cinemas to movie theaters, cinemas to stadiums to pizza shops,
Food
convenience
shops.
stores, anything like that. Food
Mhm.
trucks as well. So very simple machine to use. It's oftentimes also it's going to go in your insurance less than a microwave too, because
yeah.
because it's self-contained
That's really
and
important.
enclosed,
That's a good point.
and it's also so that makes it a lot very attractive for a lot of people out there.
Absolutely. So that concludes our presentation. Again, we're Motion Technology, the manufacturers of the Autofry. If you want more information, you can click the link below. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We show all the videos on how to set up, operate, some capacity videos, which is something that you might want to
Exactly.
learn.
Yeah, we have a pretty full, extensive YouTube channel that you can see. Also call us. We'll answer any questions for you as well. But we certainly hope to see you next year at the Nightclub and Bar Show.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, we don't know what the industry is going to bring. You know, it is really, it's
a challenging time.
It's a challenging time, but we're optimistic.
Absolutely optimistic, and looking forward to 2021.
Again, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the series. Bye-bye.